Hello and welcome to the channel. Kogi, Kaduna and Zamfara states, the three states that initiated proceedings against the federal government with the Supreme Court earlier this month, have stepped up again and started contempt charges against the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami son, and the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele after they refused to comply with the order of the apex court body. The Supreme Court had in its initial ruling ordered the federal government and the CBN that until its final ruling on the case, the old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1k notes should be allowed to coexist with the new unavailable ones. But as we all know, President Buhari come out last week and basically said to hell with that. He banned the 500 naira and 1k hold notes, but say the whole 200 go come back into circulation until April 10. Now, those three states again don't charge the AG and the CBN governor for failing to obey the court order. The Supreme Court go sit again for the case today after them adjourned last week. Make we just dey observe and see how this matter go pan out last. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Old notes. Kogi, Kaduna, Zamfara accuse Malami Emefiele of violating Supreme Court order. Three northern states, Kogi, Kaduna and Zamfara, have initiated contempt proceedings against the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami son, at the Supreme Court, following his alleged refusal to comply with the order that extended the deadline for the use of the old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1000 naira banknotes as valid legal tenders. Equally joined in the contempt action was the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. The three states in the two sets of Form 48 they lodged before the Apex Court warned both Malami and Emefiele of the consequence of their continued disobedience to the interim order the court made on February 6th, which halted the full implementation of the new monetary policy that was introduced by the CBN. Specifically, Form 48, which has already been served on both the AGF and the CBN governor, read, "Take notice that unless you obey the direction contained in the attached order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, delivered on the 3rd day of February 2023, you will be guilty of contempt of court and will be liable to be committed to prison." Vanguard learned that the contempt action by the three states who had originally gone to court to set aside the initial February 10 deadline the CBN gave for usage of the old Naira banknotes will form part of processes the Supreme Court will consider on Wednesday, today. Basically, a Form 48 notice of consequence of disobedience of court order is followed with a Form 49 should the party it was served on continue to disregard the court order alleged to have been flouted. Upon receipt of a Form 49, the alleged contemners will be compelled to show cause why they should not be committed to prison for disobeying a subsisting court order. It will be recalled that the three states had on February 15, when proceedings resumed on the legal disputes surrounding the Naira swap policy, drew attention of the Apex Court to the fact that the federal government had, through the CBN, banned the use of the old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1000 naira banknotes, despite the ex parte order that restrained it from doing so. Counsel to the plaintiffs, Mr. Abdul Hakim Mustafa son, while accusing federal government of engaging in executive recklessness, urged the Apex Court to extend the interim order. Mustafa son further indicated that he had filed an affidavit to establish how the express order of the Supreme Court was disobeyed by the federal government. However, federal government's lawyer, Mr. Kanu Agabi son, urged the apex court to disregard the allegation by counsel to the plaintiffs, insisting that it was based on mere rumor. Before adjourning the case till Wednesday, today, the 7-member panel of the apex court, led by Justice Inyang Okoro, stressed that parties having submitted themselves before the court ought not to take any action that would affect the subject matter of the suits. Even though only the AGF was initially cited as the sole defendant in the matter, the panel, however, granted applications that Edo and Bayelsa states filed to be allowed to join the suit to support federal government as co-plaintiffs. Likewise, the court allowed 7 states, Lagos, Cross River, Ogun, Ekiti, Ondo, Sokoto, and President Buhari's home state, Katsina, to also join the case to challenge the new monetary policy. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. On the other hand, Rivers, Kano, and Jigawa states filed separate suits to vacate the cash withdrawal limits the CBN allowed for corporate entities and individuals, respectively. The court held that all the suits would be consolidated for a hearing. Meanwhile, barely 24 hours after the court proceeding, President Muhammadu Buhari made a nationwide broadcast and restated the ban on all the old banknotes except 200 naira, which he okayed to remain a valid legal tender till April 10. The 10 states that are now plaintiffs in the suit marked SCCV 1622023 reapproached the apex court with another process to invalidate the president's directive on the old banknotes. It will also be recalled that Malami had filed a preliminary objection to dismiss the suit, even as he contended that the Supreme Court lacked the requisite jurisdiction to entertain it. Listing his grounds for challenging the power of the Supreme Court to intervene in the matter, Malami accused the plaintiffs of opposing federal government's power through its agency, the CBN, to withdraw old banknotes and introduce new ones. According to him, the plaintiff's suit is about the power vested on the Central Bank of Nigeria by the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 to call in its banknotes and introduce new ones. This suit, as presently constituted, falls under Section 25, 251, 1A, P, Q, and R of the Constitution, exclusive jurisdiction of the Federal High Court by virtue of the subject matter and parties. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.